Welcome to the Immaculate Conception Mat Making Group. We have all heard that we should start using other kinds of bags other than plastic ones to help the environment. That is a great goal to aspire to. However, we currently still have an abundance of plastic bags hanging around, and we need to see if there is a constructive way to recycle them. Well, someone came up with a way to make mats for our homeless community from the bags, and someone else taught us how to do it. The group was affectionately labeled Bag Ladies by the parish because it was a project that was originally started by a group of women. However, we now have several men who have joined the fun. We meet every second and fourth Friday at Immaculate Conception Church Hall at 414 West Vine Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. There are plenty of jobs to do, and everyone finds the one that they can do the best. As of now, we have made at least close to 200 mats, if we have not exceeded that amount. There is a process to make the bags, but it is not hard, just time consuming. If you can crochet, you would be a great help to our cause. But there are plenty of other jobs necessary to supply our crocheters with the plastic yarn they need to do their magic. But we put the articles in the church bulletin requesting that parishioners bring their bags and leave them in the hall in the bins provided. We have not so far had a shortage of bags. We take bags of any color and of various sizes. We do prefer bags that are very flexible and not stiff, but we will weed them out and get the ones we need. When we all meet on Fridays, we do have a job to do, and we take it seriously. But while we are working, it is time to catch up on what is happening in the parish. No, we are not gossiping. We share praiseworthy events that have happened in people's lives, and we also gather prayer requests for people who have suffered from other misfortune and are in need of them. We have grown into a family, and we welcome anyone who would like to join. When we finish the mats, we have a person that picks up the mats and distributes them to the homeless community. We have received feedback from the homeless, and they are very appreciative of them. It is a small contribution to the list of items they need daily, but at least we are providing something that can make their lives just a little better. I would now like to take you through our process, and you can see some of our people in action. First of all, we have our flatteners. This is a very important job. They're like our supply quality assurance. They got to check the bags to make sure that they're not sticky. They make sure that they're in top performance, and they check out all kinds of stuff. First of all, they got to get those knots out, because a lot of people seem to think that the bags are going to get away, so they tie some really tight knots. So sometimes it's a lot of fun getting these loose, but we get them out there, and away we go. Then we got to get things that are in the things like grocery receipts, get them out of there. Then sometimes the bags, for some reason, are turned inside out, and so they won't stack right if they're turned inside out, so we got to straighten that out. But eventually we get them so that they'll lay flat like they're supposed to, and that's very important. And you got to make sure that there are no holes in the bag. So we got to check that, because a hole in the bag will be a bad strip. You got to make the quality right. They got to be flexible. If they're stiff, they won't work. So can't have that. Finally, we get to straighten them out and lay them as flat as we can. And so that's pretty much what their job is to do, is to get them all nice and flat to go to the next step. And they do a really good job. After we get them flat, then we got to fold them. And the reason we fold them is we fold them so that we can cut them. Now, you can stack several on here before you fold it. I can get cut about 5 at a time. So you can stack 5, make sure that they're straight as far as their ends meet and everything, because you got to have them so when you cut them, they're where they ought to be. So then after we get done folding, then we got to cut. And we're always supposed to make them about 2 inches. Now, you don't have to be really exact on that, but get them close to 2 inches as possible. So you take your folded thing and make sure that they all line up really good. And then if you have a template, then you can use that. If not, you can just cut it yourself. Just be careful with those rotary cutters, or rotaries seem to work better than scissors. But anyhow, so you cut these things at 2-inch strips, and they should make sure you get cut all the way through, because it's a lot of fun when you're playing with plastic if you didn't get it cut all the way through. And when you get done with the cutting, then you got to remove the ends, because the end parts, like on the very end, it's sealed and the other end is too open, and so they won't make very good loops for you. But what's left over are very good loops, and just make sure that there's no cuts in them and anything. And so that works out pretty good. Then we got to go and we got to string those loops together and make our yarn. And so there's a little process here. You just tie them in knots and put one after another. What you have to make sure of is that this is just a loop within a loop, but that knot needs to be right in the center and as small as possible. So you got to pull it kind of tight, and you want to make sure that both ends of the loop are parallel to each other. If you get the knot in the wrong place, you'll have one longer than the other. That won't be good. So you got to make sure that that's cool. And you want that knot as close to this, as tiny as you can get it. And usually what you got to watch out for is when you're doing that, there's another quality assurance part, is that when you pull that thing, if you got a bad loop, it'll break. And it's a lot of fun trying to get that little tiny knot out of there. But you have to, because you can't cut it, so you got to unknot it, and that's no fun. Anyhow, so when you get done with all that and you get a nice strand of yarn, then you got to take and make a ball out of it. And that's just kind of, you start wrapping around your fingers one way, and then you wrap it around another way. And when you're first getting started, it's kind of fun, but then as you get more and more, it'll be easier to get done. And it's just a process. And you rotate the ball as you're winding it so that you can kind of keep it in a round circle. Wind it as tight as you can. That helps. By pulling it tight, you know whether it's good or not. And notice you can make very big balls out of this thing. And notice this one is different colors. So you don't have to go make the mats the same color. You can get designs in it, and the people that make the balls are actually helping the crocheter get designs in there. So get you a bunch of different color things, strips, and make your balls. Then we go to the crocheters. Here's the important people that can really make this thing happen. And they go through and they crochet this thing. It's a double crochet, and they just do a really good job of it. We're using like an M size crochet needle, and like I said, it's a double crochet stitch. I don't know how to crochet, so I'm not going to tell you how to do this. When you come, our crocheters will show you. If you know how to crochet, then they'll show you how to do it. If you don't know how to crochet, well, I guess you'll learn if you want to, but you don't have to crochet. Like I said, you can do all the other kind of stuff, but if you can crochet, you're in high demand, because you're the one that turned out these things, and they become very important to people. So finally, you got the end product, and that is a beautiful quilt, or a beautiful mat. And the mat can, like I said, you can have all kinds of designs in this thing depending on how you string those balls together. And so it's just a very helpful thing. And we have a lot of homeless that say that they really appreciate these, because it's better laying on this than on cold concrete. And that's cool. If you feel led, come and join us. It's a satisfying labor of love, and I think you'll enjoy it very much. Thank you.